Next month marks 15 years since a massacre of Christians broke out in Kandhamal, Odisha, India. The 2008 Odisha pogrom was the worst anti-Christian violence to ever touch the shores of the Republic of India. Tens of thousands were made refugees within their own country, hundreds of churches and thousands of homes were destroyed, and perhaps 100 or more were brutally murdered. Sexual violence was a key element of that pogrom. One of the survivors was Sister Meena, a Catholic nun who had been working to uplift local tribal groups. During the massacre, she hid away in a house along with a priest, but was quickly discovered by a mob who seized her, attempted unsuccessfully, thank God, to burn the priest alive, and gang raped her. Then Sister Meena's attackers paraded her, half naked, through town in full view of the police, who stood there doing nothing. The 2008 Odisha pogrom was the worst anti-Christian violence in modern Indian history up until almost 3 months ago today. At the beginning of May of this year, coordinated attacks were launched against the Christian Kuki-Zomi tribal people in Manipur. The violence is still ongoing. Only now is news about some of the grossest atrocities that have been committed beginning to emerge. Because the regime in Delhi, which is headed by the Hindu nationalist BJP's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and whose strings are pulled by the Nazi-inspired RSS paramilitary, refuses to stop the slaughter. The fog of war still hangs over Manipur, so we do not yet know the final toll taken by the violence. Yet what we do know for sure is that the 2008 Odisha pogrom is no longer the worst anti-Christian violence to strike modern India. Sexual violence, like in Odisha, is a key element of the ongoing ethnic cleansing in Manipur. We've all now heard of the viral video of 2 Kuki-Zomi Christian women who were paraded naked and sexually assaulted on camera by a Hindu nationalist mob. That incident mirrors the suffering of Sister Meena in 2008 in Odisha. The women were hauled off into the fields, and at least one of them was gang raped. And the attackers also reportedly murdered her brother as he tried to protect her. Just like with Sister Meena in 2008, the police played a role in the attack on these Kuki-Zomi women. The difference between then and now is that then the police played a passive role, but now their role was active. According to the women survivors recently reported, the police were there with the mob which was attacking our village. The police picked us up from near home and took us a little away from the village and left us on the road with the mob. We were given to them by police. The police in Manipur are in the hands of the RSS BJP. The attackers in Manipur belong to the RSS BJP. The government in Manipur is an RSS BJP government. The government in Delhi is an RSS BJP government. The reason that the regime in Delhi refuses to stop the slaughter in Manipur is because the RSS BJP ideologically supports the extermination of Indian Christians, including in Manipur. This viral video is what shocked the world, broke the silence of the Indian media, and even got Modi himself to pledge to go after the guilty. But it wasn't enough to get Modi to condemn the ongoing violence. It wasn't enough to get Modi to call for peace. And it was not enough to get Modi to visit Manipur and stand in solidarity with the Kuki-Zomi Christians who are being massacred right now. This viral video also was not the only incident of sexual violence in the ethnic cleansing in Manipur. The attack in that video happened on the second day of violence, on May 4th, almost 3 months ago. Just yesterday, it emerged that an 18-year-old Kukizomi woman was picked up and gang raped on the 12th day of violence. That is over 2 months ago, on May 15th. And her story is just now surfacing. How many more stories have not yet been told? In the middle of last month, we finally heard the story of a June 4th attack on a Kukizomi family from a survivor who told us about how his mother and his 8-year-old son were seized and burned alive. When will the stories stop coming? The violence is still ongoing, and we are only now hearing the stories of survivors of attacks that happened months ago. How many more women were gang raped? How many more people were burned alive? How many women are being gang raped in Manipur right now as we speak, as it is the middle of the night over there? And how many people are being burned alive in Manipur right now? How many more people have to tell their stories of survival before the Modi regime finally steps in and stops the slaughter? The Modi regime is silent, but so too is our own Biden administration here in America. Yet we will not be silent. We will stand up, speak out, and scream for the sake of those who have already been slaughtered and for the sake of the survivors. I will stand with Kukizomi women and indeed all the Christians who are under siege in Manipur today, and for every religious minority all across India who is facing violence under the Modi regime today. Will you stand with them also?